Hello, this is Zeke777, and welcome back to Ars Nouveau. Today, we've got a couple things planned. First off, I can show you, we've made a little bit of progress on building here. I decided to reinforce this middle floor here and have it be thinner up top. Up top now exists. I still want to have a dome up top there, but I'm not really sure. I'm not quite happy with the bracing up here. It still looks too heavy. So, I don't know, I'm going to kind of play around with that later off camera. Just kind of when I'm having time to build, would not record. Other than that, not much else has changed around here. So let's go ahead and get started. What we want to do today is I want to set up an assembly line of sorts. So if I look here at essence, there are a lot of different essences in here. And some of these have various crafting recipes. For instance, abjuration essence here, it can be used, it's probably the bad example. You can use it to make potions, awkward potions, so no needing netherwort. There's a couple other things for the enchanting apparatus for potions. Other than that, let's see, conjuration, it can turn sand into soul sand, or stone into end stone. So a lot of these have just different recipes that are useful for certain things. In particular, the fire essence, this can be used for fuel, which means we can either use that for our volcanic accumulators, or volcanic sourcelings rather, or we could use it for endoflames, for Botania. We can just burn these things instead. Manipulation essence, that's another one I want for the stone to diorite to granite type thing, as well as it can change saplings, things like that, dirt, grass, whatever. Basically, I just want to automate all of them. So let's get our flight going here so I don't splat when I hit the bottom there. And come on, flight. Maybe we will just lag out. Okay, well, I will meet you down at the bottom there near our little geode. Whee! Splat. Okay, we have flight on, so it means that we won't actually take damage. So down here, I've been kind of clearing it out, getting just the budding amethyst to be left. That's easier to access then, and pretty useful. And actually, I want to try something here real quick, which is... wrong spell. This break spell uses chaining, so anything that is connecting it to each other will all be broken. So, do I pick up on here as well? I do. Okay, that's pretty satisfying. Yeah, a lot of amethyst shards there, but what we're actually down here for is budding amethyst. And the reason for that is if we place down our ritual brazier, grab ourselves a tablet of awakening, we should be able to use that, and it'll turn, I think it should only turn one of these. I hope. We'll see. Into an amethyst golem. Hello there. Now, I believe I can just kind of dispel you. Yep, dispelled. To get an amethyst golem charm. So this guy here I can then place down in my base, and he can do a couple things. One is he can turn regular amethyst into budding amethyst, so that's pretty cool. And the other thing is he will automatically harvest the amethyst for us, which is good because, as you know, amethyst is used to make source gems. So, yeah, we're going to make some source gem automation. But first, I have to do this. Regular amethyst. Oh, look, here's all the budding ones left. Cool. And it got us, oh, that only got us a stack and a half or so. Let's clear out the rest of it. Very satisfying. So, how do we use this little guy? Well, a couple ways. First off, let's get ourselves in a chest here, so we have somewhere for him to put stuff. And you can go right, no, I'm just going to put it right here, I think. Nice and centered in here. I had this extra little space left over from the little turret automation, so I think this is actually going to be a really good spot for him. Now, if we place you here, you should now realize that this is your home. Yeah, your home. Looks happy. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of line this area here with amethyst. And now his job is, over time, he will slowly convert this amethyst into budding amethyst. Stay in here, please. Stay back here. There. So basically, I'm not sure exactly how long this will take, and I'd imagine you probably want source, don't you? Can you pull from that? You might be able to pull from there, actually. We'll see. If you can, awesome. If you can't, then too bad. He will eventually turn this stuff into budding amethyst, and then once it starts sprouting, I think that's the right word? Forming, crystallizing, not really sure. Once it starts doing that, then he can get to work actually picking stuff up. So, you know, I'm going to put some down here as well. So he'll have a nice little sparkly enclosure. Actually, we're going to put you down a row. Let's break this. And plant you in the ground. That way, there's room for crystals from the top to grow down and for these to grow up. So go there and there. 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Cool. I think that's really about it. I'm going to let this sit for a little bit and see if anything happens. Alright, so I set his home by right-clicking him as an entity and shift-right-clicking rather, the chest. So that is now his home, and he's got this little space down here that he can just kind of hang out in. He looks like he's doing some sort of magic stuff. See little particle effects, that means he's working. And let's see, I don't actually know how long oh, actually that didn't take very long at all. We have a budding amethyst. So yes, this mod does allow you to effectively move budding amethyst, actually to just produce it. Because these were regular amethysts, which means you can get infinite of everything. So he's going to be working there. I'm going to actually break out this block as well. And we'll put a solid block underneath there, because I don't really want it forming down below. I just want crystals to form in here. We'll replace you with that. And back here as well. Okay, so he is already working. I believe if I check the book here, let's see, go back one page please. Farming amethyst. Once the home has been set, Golem will begin performing tasks over time. They'll convert amethyst into budding amethyst, harvest the amethyst clusters, and speed up the amethyst growth. So, oh, and also pick up and store amethyst. So basically, he's kind of a one-stop shop here. This will eventually form crystals. He'll pick them up. He'll place them in the chest. So, cool. We've got amethyst now. Eventually. Alrighty. Well, Mr. Amethyst Golem here has been working. We now have 2 budding amethyst. I bumped these ones up by 2. Same with those, just to get a little bit more efficient packing. This is not efficient whatsoever. For instance, this block here, we only really have access to bottom, top, side, and front here, so that's only 4 sides of the 6. This one here we only have 3, so it's not efficient the way I have them set up here, but I just wanted a small little compact thing here that ideally we can start getting some amethyst from. It looks like we did get some. So he's going to work away. I'm just going to be kind of working on some other stuff nearby here while he's working, and we'll come back later and we'll see how much he's actually dropped off. And ideally have more of these be budding amethyst, because, I mean, yeah, there's no sides available, but it's also not budding, so it doesn't do me any good. So you, get to work, okay? So I just realized that since he doesn't actually need to be touching anything, because he was just kind of sitting here when he got those those 4 amethyst, I don't think I actually need to do what I had done, which was I had covered up down here so that the crystals specifically wouldn't form. I wanted to do that just to have it be only up top here, not have things get stuck, but it looks like you can just kind of harvest it anyway, which works out really well for us because that means I can actually get extra sides on these without really having to do anything. So it's going to break out blocks underneath here, and those are now visible. And on this side, I think I can open up this whole area as well. Yeah, I think that's good. So that is available on all sides. You, please don't fall down here. And let's just patch that up. You and you. Why is there a dirt block here? Okay, cool. The back of that wall is another room, so I don't really want to, poke through there. But I might be able to do something on this wall. If I make it decorative, something in there. I might actually be able to do the back here. Let's see what's back here. Break that. Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. So that's open, that's fine. Close that up, and got a couple extra sides on all these crystals. So cool. Keep working, please. So he's working away. He's giving us the actual shards. And to be honest, I'm not sure if that's what I want to be working with, or if I want to work with the shard blocks, the full blocks of amethyst. I'm kind of thinking I might go with solid blocks, but on the other hand, then I'd have to uncraft it anyway. All that to say, I'm going to make a couple wixies here. That way, if I want them to be blocks, I can just have the wixie craft them into blocks. And if I want them to be shards, then cool, I have a bunch of wixie shards that I don't need to worry about. So we're going to get a couple of these guys. I'm just going to take that because you're not paying attention. And yeah, let's go back over and get started on the next part. So let's kind of lay out what we're wanting to do. There are 7 different essences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we also need 1 extra in order to turn the amethyst into the actual source gems. So I'm thinking this is going to be a hallway, and I'll have this whole area on this side be one area, instead of like how this is divided into three, I'm just going to have one little alcove here for everything, and I'll just kind of line it all up. So I'm going to give a few blocks between each, and we'll see how much room we have left. Not enough. Okay, cool. These guys will, when looking for the recipe, they will look in the 3x3 around them, so I could actually scoot them all closer. So let's do that. So the initial one here will be for making source gems, and yeah, let's see what this looks like. Okay, I think that works. We're going to bump them up by one because I want the pedestals underneath them, and we're going to have a couple of these little squirrels who are doing our bidding, moving things around. These are able to work without source jars nearby, but if they have source, I think it's basically next to them, then what they're able to do is they can speed up the process. So if I look at the recipe for here, if I type in essence, each of these will show that they have a source cost. If I look at the imbuement chamber, basically everything costs around 2,000. A couple of the things from like Ars Instrumentum, the add-ons, they're a bit more expensive, 5,000, so it's a half of a jar for that. But then again, this is basically making a Wild and Tribute for free. The rest of these are all 2,000, with the exception of turning either Lapis or Amethyst into the source gem itself. In fact, even this one here with a block of Amethyst, oh yeah, because that's right, because 2,000 divided by 4 is 500. So yeah, it's going to be 500 source for these, which is 5% of a jar. So we can do that. I kind of want to see how this will perform without providing any source, but for now, I think I've got an area set up here that will work. So I've got a chest next to each of these, and it's just going to be kind of down the line. This will be filled up with source gems, this will be with one essence, the next essence, all the way down the line, and we're just going to let it go. So pretty simple, the way we're going to set it up is just going to be, I think we're going to have your job, Mr. Starbuncle, is you're going to take from this chest, and then from you, you're going to be feeding it into here. So basically, once any source gems come in, he'll pick up the amethyst, bring it over here, it'll turn into a source gem, and then next I also need him to drop off in here when it's actually a source gem, instead of being an amethyst. So we need to get a few item frames, which I think I've got. Okay, I only have 2. Let's grab a few more of those, please. 42 is plenty. And I think we can just basically slap that on there and label each of these chests. There we go. And basically at that point, oh, this also needs to be labeled. I'm going to stick this label on the back though. Because I don't want it to be visible. This is going to be filled with, this is all going to have a source gem in it. So let's actually grab that gem, please. Okay, so source gems will go in all these. So the little Starbuncles will see that they need to take the gems and put them into these containers, because that's really just a container. This one here is going to be taking Amethyst, so we'll grab one of those. Amethyst, got 1,000, so that's plenty. Plop you on there, and source gem will go into here. Cool, so he's already doing his job, and let's go ahead and say you need to then drop stuff off here. So once that turns into a source gem, you should pick it up and drop it over here. And I'll keep an eye on this and see if this gets really backed up, because it's going to be kind of a slow process here. If it gets backed up, then we can maybe switch over to using the blocks instead. But I think we'll just see how it goes for now. Alright, he seems to be working now. I had forgotten to tell him that he could take from the imbuement chamber as well. So he should just leave it there and not take it out until it's ready. Okay, good. So I think that's working now. You've got a gem, you've got a couple amethysts. We'll keep that, we'll just kind of monitor that for a while. These are all set to be able to take the source gem, so let's take you and bind you to all of these, which is kind of a tedious process, but not too bad. So now the next step is simply setting these recipes. So for this first one here, which is the abjuration essence, that is, if I take a look in here, sugar, milk, and fermented spider eye, which I happen to have on me because I just grabbed it from the other setup. So sugar, milk, it'll look like it's floating in there, but that's okay. and spider eye. So now, if we take our little golem dude over here, not golem, Starbuncle, and I say, okay, mister, you have a new job. You're already set to store in all of those, so now you are finally allowed to take from here. So he's going to go over there, he's going to come over and plop it in. Perfect. And then that will eventually send it into here, once it turns into an abjuration essence. So let me set up the rest of these recipes. And a kind of neat thing is he won't actually see that this is a valid inventory for a source gem until the recipe is set. So for instance, with this next one, air essence, it is feather, arrow, and wing. Well, we've got a wing here, feather, we've got in storage, and an arrow, which we've got plenty of. So wing, feather, and arrow goes in. He runs over there, realizes, hey, there's something that can fit here. And he'll come over and pop it in. Perfect. And really the last thing I need to do in order to set this up is tell the Starbuncle to also store things in these front chests. There we go. So now once that it turns into the essence, then he'll just come over here, pull it out, put it in. I think I also need to tell him that you are allowed to take from these. But I'm actually going to wait until he finishes filling up all of them first for that. The reason for that is I don't want him taking from one of these imbuement chambers to drop it off at the next one. So we'll do that later. That's the third one. Frame rate is not happy with the rain here, but it's fine. And with our little bit of progress in Botania, we got ourselves a Terra Bozu, which will stop the rain because I don't like rain. Perfect. There we go. Okay, now this area here appears to be working good. Working correctly, at least. We still haven't pulled from this one. I don't know if you're not pulling from it or if you're not pushing to the chest, but we can sort that out. Okay, so you now know to take from there. And you know how to deposit as well. Perfect. So these two already changed. He's already dropped them off. I'm just kind of watching, make sure he'll do at least one in each. And I think he's doing okay. So he's busy. Every time it'll turn, he'll have to take it from the imbuement chamber, drop it off in the chest, run over there, grab another source gem, and bring it back. So I think this whole thing here is working. Why is there no amethyst in there? Here. You gonna drop it off? Oh, okay, I see what's going on. He's trying to take from this one. Okay, that might be a problem. The problem is if I have him set up to both push and pull from an inventory, for instance, since this one has an amethyst in it, and this one needed one, he kept taking it from this one, putting it in that one, seeing, oh, now you need amethyst, and there's one right here, and then bringing it back. Don't do that. And similarly, this guy's having the same problem. So, okay, let's try to rearrange our tasks just a little bit. Wipe both of those. You guys are currently doing nothing. Good. I think the better way to rearrange these tasks is to say that this first guy here, your job is going to be to take from that chest and then to store in both of these. Okay, so far so good. Now, you're not going to take from the imbuement chamber and drop it off to here. Instead, that's going to be your job. So you need to store things over here first off. So go drop off that. Okay. And then you need to also be taking from here. We'll wait for the server to catch up. Position set, and you can now take from there. Okay. Let's shift right click on that. Thank you. Okay, so you can take from there. Okay, so far so good. Let's color code these guys. Do I have any purple dye? Not yet, but I can. Okay. Purple dye, your job is to pull the source gems and store them in this chest. Your job is to take the amethyst and store them up here. So far so good. And I think across the board, what I'll have it is Purple dude's job, your job is to take from imbuement chambers and bring into chests. So currently you're pulling those two, depositing here. You're also going to pull from these and deposit here. Okay. Your job is going to be take from here and then deposit here. Make sense? Okay, grab an amethyst first. Okay. Right, gotta do the other one. Thank you. Okay, now take from that chest and deposit up there. Perfect. Okay, now to do that 7 more times. What are you guys doing? When in doubt, just add more squirrels. Alright. Orange guy, your job is to get amethyst from over there, bring it up here. Sound good? Good. Purple dude, your job is to get source gems from here and store it in this chest. Sounds good. Your job is going to be... Thank you for looking at me. Your job is going to be storing things up there, I think. Because I can have you, currently you're only picking up amethyst, so if I have you then take from these and deposit into these, you shouldn't get mixed up. Your job is going to be dropping stuff off over there, and I think that should work. So, okay. You take from there and store here. Sounds good. And store here. And store here. And so on. So far, so good. I keep saying that a lot. Let's hope it works this time. Okay, you are storing amethyst here, which means you're only holding amethyst so far. So if I tell you to take from here and deposit here, you shouldn't do anything because that's a source gem. Perfect, okay. So let's try it again on this one. Take from here. And deposit to here. Okay. I think that's working. Take from here. And deposit here. Get your amethyst first. Okay. I need these to have like a highlighting thing whenever you have them like selected, that it'll show where they're picking up and dropping off from. That would be handy. Okay, I think now it is all working. I think. You're dropping off those. Everything seems to be flowing through fine. Let's let it sit for a little bit and we'll see that everything is working properly. You're doing your job. Perfect. Good. Yeah, I think that's good. And now that everyone is working happily, I'm gonna just fill in the floor here. I want this to be a solid fill, thank you. From you to over here. Nice, didn't work. Replace on. Solid fill, floor. Okay, let's try this again. From right here, all the way over here. I think it's because I changed it halfway through. There we go. Now let's pick up all of our dirt before these guys do, which they shouldn't pick up because everything they're looking at is filtered. Let's turn our magnet on, make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Perfect. Let's turn you off and turn off the replace. I think that everything is working properly here. Let's pick up the rest of our dirt, thank you. If I look in each of these, we can see we've got a couple essence in each. 3 of those, 3 of those. I think there's only 2 in here so far. It's a very slow process, but it should be fast enough, to be honest. And ideally, we're turning a slight profit in here with our source gems. So if I ever need any, I can come over here and grab some. And I think that's a good system. I think just to make our lives easier here, what I'm going to do is fill in the rest of this with dirt. That way, they'll only fill up a single stack of this, because I don't actually need that much at the moment. And if we need some more later, then that's fine. We can just get more. Basically just by getting rid of an extra stack in here. Then it'll, fill up to 2 stacks. So I think that will be a good system here. and that way it won't overload the system by having, you know, I don't need 27 stacks of fire essence. Well, fire essence I might, but the rest of these I don't. So let's fill in the rest here, and I think the system is all completely set up then. We can do a little bit of decorating. And I apologize, it's a little difficult to see this, but I ran a profile to see the kind of tick time impact here. And these guys aren't too bad. You're at 42, you're at 60, the one over here is at 26, and there's 2 chickens in there that are both higher than this, and also 11 from an egg, I'm guessing. Yeah. This guy here uses the most for an individual entity, 131. It's a little high, but we'll see if it works. Overall, I don't want this base to be a very heavy impact. I think these villagers are probably the biggest impact of all, about 100 or so each. Overall, that's not ideal. Like I said, I might move these guys out of this area so that they're not constantly loaded when I'm here at home, because, to be honest, I don't need them nearby. I just need to have access to my stuff, which I have from everywhere, so that doesn't matter. But I just wanted to kind of do a quick check on that, just as something to be thoughtful of, especially if you're on a server, that you're not killing the server by having a million little squirrels running around. And checking our Amethyst Golem here, he's not quite keeping up. I threw a stack of shards in here, just kind of keep an eye on it, while keeping the rest of these guys flowing and having work to do. But then again, he isn't fully, I guess, warmed up, because he does need to turn the rest of these into the budding amethyst, so we should get a couple more here, which will speed him up a little bit. And quite honestly, once it's kind of, you know, steady state of these guys are filled up, I think there'll be plenty. One of the best parts of being on a server here is we can see what everyone else is working on. I don't want to step too close. Okay, I did take my magnet off, so I won't be picking up his stuff. But this is the Red Souls base, which I really like this aesthetic of the like the dark stone, the deep slate, and the spruce. I think it goes really well together. I really like this place. The big chains, those are kind of cool. I like them. Right, I don't have a flight ritual here. But yeah, it's kind of cool to come over here, visit, dropped off some iron, he traded me some steel, so I'm quite happy with that. There was something I needed the other day that had steel in it, and obviously I didn't have any. But yeah, it's cool getting to visit everyone. Well, it looks like our system here is working quite nicely. Starbuncle little squirrel dudes are running all around. I put in just a quick wall. I'll probably do some more decoration on the back there. I'm not really sure what yet. Ceiling is pretty plain as well, but it works, and it is a room. It also has lighting. I'm quite happy with this design. It is working out quite nicely. Let me check our storage here. Almost half stack of, I think everything should be about there. 25, 25, 23. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's going along. A little less than half stack there. We are turning a profit on our source gems, and the little amethyst dude here is struggling to keep up. But I think that's fine. I did decide to make this wall too thick here so that I can have an empty space in the back. There we go. So it's growing crystals there as well, and I think it's working to pick them up. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen any get stuck back there yet, so I'll keep an eye on it. But other than that, I think this is a good spot to call it for an episode. We started a project and we finished it. Always good to do that in one episode. So, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.